Black Clover being the first video on my channel, I promise to delve and explore more Black Clover content. In this video, I'll continue the power prowess within the verse of Black Clover, and what better way to do it than include the main character himself, Asta. The magicless short turd versus the elastic condom. I know both of my Black Clover related videos have pitted against characters from One Piece, but like I said in the first video, I do think these verses are closely relative and can be argued amongst fans and power scholars. If anyone's interested, I'd recommend you watch the first video that includes the Admirals versus the Dark Triad. It's very interesting if you enjoy battle content as well as One Piece or Black Clover. Nevertheless, some of my power scan evidence used in that video will also be presented here. Without further ado, let's get into the populated battle of Asta versus Luffy.
Being one of the few characters to master all three forms of haki and having one of the strongest devil fruits, Luffy presents himself as one of the strongest characters in the One Piece verse. For this video, we're going to see how he would do against Asta. We're going to start off with his AP, which is really simple. Whitebeard in his old age was stated to be able to destroy the world. Given with how big the One Piece world is, just to scale Whitebeard and people who are relative to him like Kaido to large planet to large star level in AP, if you take the Whitebeard statement at face value. Luffy, even in his base form, was able to match Kaido's attacks and even damaged him multiple times, so his base should at least scale to this. Luffy in Gear 5 should at least be a 30 times multiplier from his base, since Gear 2 is a 10 times multiplier, and his Gear 4 is said to be several times above that, which should at least be at 3 times or more. This Luffy in Gear 5 should at least scale somewhere from large planet to star level depending how big you think the One Piece world is. Luffy's speed is a little bit more iffy to scale. Luffy should be FTL in pre-time skit, since we see Luffy perceive, react, and even dodge light beams in base form. And even people like Zoro, who is weaker than Luffy, have shown to dodge multiple light speed attacks from Kuma while heavily damaged. And not to mention Luffy still has Gear 2, which is a 10 times amp, which would make Luffy in pre-time skip FTL+. And this is consistent since we see Luffy in beginning of post-time skip easily react and dodge Kuma's light beams, which are said to be used from Kizaru's light beams. I'm not going to calc stack Luffy from every arc because that's not really a good way to scale a character. But by using his gear multipliers and all the multiple training arcs Luffy went through that will make his base form stronger than his stronger forms from the past arcs, he should at least have MFTL speeds or higher. As for abilities, Luffy mainly uses his Haki abilities such as Future Sight, Duraneg being Rio, Conqueror's Haki which works like spiritual pressure, and for his Devil Fruit Awakening it allows him to use a limited version of Toon Force, which can easily manipulate his own size and can make anything or anyone around him turn into rubber.
So when we engage the AP of Asta, I always seem to find myself starting with Zagreb. Nevertheless, for the sake of the video, I'll start somewhere new for my scaling of Black Clover. Now, Demon Lit with a single attack was going to wipe out all of humanity. Lumiere, the first Wizard King, being the one that stopped the attack, even thought that if he was to block the attack, that the entire Black Clover Kingdom would have been destroyed, which is already country level. Considering Black Clover world has other landmasses such as the Spade Kingdom, but also Japan itself within the world. This would mean in order for Demon Lit to achieve this, it would require multi-continental capabilities. Not to mention the various magical regions that significantly weaken the damage of this attack. To even add on to this, Black Clover has civilizations that live underwater. And in order for Demon Lit to kill these civilizations, he would need to vaporize the oceans themselves. And this alone would require multi-con power. This is evident as Zagreb said that there would be nothing left. Not only that, but the Fire Salamander has the power to vaporize oceans, also adding on to the multi-con Demon Lit. But like I said previously, it gets higher when you include oceans and continents, meaning in order for Demon Lit to do all of this, his power would be moon level. We know this is evident as Dorothy and Reeve create moons within Glamour World. Reeve being an apostle of Saroth would place her above the Fire Salamander, who scales to a stronger Elfana than the likes of the one that controlled the Fire Salamander. Zergrid of course would no diff Dorothy or Reeve at this time, and considering the power difference, I was able to get Zergrid to small planet. Asta being the leading defeater of Zagreb and outperforming that of Licht and Lumiere would place this Asta to moon level to small planet considering the upscale. With the Dark Triad being above Zagreb stated about Lady Lord of Petrica, as well as showcased as a base form Dante bullying a far stronger Asta and the likes to fight Zagreb. I was able to get the Dark Triad to all around planet level in my last video and nothing has changed. And with Asta damaging and defeating a stronger Dante than his base form, Asta would need to scale solidly to this planet levels. After this, we find ourselves against Lucifero, the king of all devils. At 50% Lucifero having numerous world-ending statements, solidifying his place in planet level. And with the massively enormous gap between Lucifero and everyone previously mentioned, makes this a valid placement and could even get to large planet levels of power. And with Asta defeating Lucifero with true devil union, he would need to scale to Lucifero of course. After this, a character known as Lucius would appear and consume all of Lucifero as well as state his superiority over the Wizard King Julius. This Lucius would practically no diff a stronger Asta than the likes that fought Lucifero. Asta then learning Zeton from the Land of the Sun, in which boosts his power by at least 40 times. And with Asta in recent chapters defeating a Lucius clone alongside Yuno being somewhat relative to the person who dwarfs Lucifero in power, who's planetary at bare minimum, we can place Asta at Dwarf Star and even higher with Zeton. Now as for speed, I'll make this quick and simple. It's extremely early on that we see characters who are the speed of light, with even them getting stronger during the battle stated by Yami. For example, Patrick gets surpassed by the Eye of the Midnight Sun directly after getting faster, as well as stating they surpassed him in combat. Azraya was able to blitz a Yami that was reacting to a faster Patrick that was already the speed of light. And in Black Clover, the more mana you have, the faster you become. This Raya getting stronger while in F form battling against Mary Leona was intercepted by a base Asta. This being impressive as not only is Mary Leona FTL with a calc here, but a base Asta intercepts this mid punch by a FTL plus Mary Leona. Asta surpassing this throughout the series by getting numerous power-ups by the recent chapter of Black Clover, making Asta MFTL plus. This can actually be surpassed with calc stacking, which I've not included as I don't really enjoy doing it and it's not something I'd consider valid.
For the sake of the video and entertainment, we managed to get both characters relative in both AP and speed, with Asta being a bit faster. I imagine both opponents starting off evenly while slowly progressing. Asta's anti-magic aspect will practically be useless in this encounter, but the same could be said for Luffy, as his Conqueror's Haki wouldn't be useful against someone like Asta, who is equally as strong as well as one of the strongest world fighters. Asta being faster than Luffy will make it harder for Luffy to adjust, but with Future Sight granting him equal perception to adapt to Asta's speed advantage. Luffy may be able to counterattack Asta using Rio, attacking Asta's insides, ignoring durability. This acting as Luffy's only win con. Asta's win cons involve his speed advantage and overall strats and experience, strategically adapting and learning as well as going empowered mid-battle. Luffy himself isn't a scrub either when it comes to battle IQ, but Asta so far has shown more smarter plays in his fights, and is just very swell at adapting to people's fighting styles. Luffy is also good at adapting, but most times it would take him multiple losses to finally learn the weakness. Other than Luffy's Toon Force and Rio, he's not going to be able to land as much hits on Asta as Asta would to Luffy, since Asta is just faster. And not to mention Asta has a sword, which is Luffy's biggest counter. This fight overall will be really close, but thanks to Asta's speed, endurance, and overall battle IQ, this would grant him the win in a high difficulty fight. Or he could just Dimension Slash and just cut him through him like butter. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I always recommend new content and unique matchups. I've always found it corny to ask for subs and likes, but I'm going to take this serious and start pushing the YouTuber agenda. So like and subscribe!